Today we honor our common ancestor, John Tucker, and his ancestors. John Tucker was born April 5, 1805, at Goodley, Devonshire, England, and was christened at the parish church at Goodley, June 30, 1805. Goodley is a parish and a village in the northern part of Devonshire, 2.5 miles northeast of Barnstable, with a population in the 1800s of 239, growing to 442 in the early 1900s. It has a land area of 1,167 acres. The parish registers are some of the earliest, having been preserved from the beginning of the law in 1538. It is in the hundreds of Broughton. 100 is a land area with a population large enough to support 100 military men. The living is a rectory in the Archdeaconry of Barnstable and the Diocese of Exeter, rated in the King's Books at £14, 19 shillings, 4.5 pence. The church is dedicated to St. Gregory. Here is a place of worship for independence. The River Yeo runs through the parish, which is noted for the production of cherries.
John Tucker learned the trade of a tailor, and in later life was a draper and grocer. He married Susanna Blackmore March 19, 1834, at the parish church in Kentisbury. Susanna was born at Kentisbury March 4, 1809, and christened in the parish church April 16, 1809. They were the parents of 4 children, all born at Eastdown, Devonshire. Eastdown is a village with a parish church and is located 6.5 miles northeast of Barnstable, with a population of 297 in the 1800s and 422 in the early 1900s, and a land area of 3,677 acres. The living is a rectory in the Archdeaconry of Barnstable and Diocese of Exeter, rated in the King's Books at £18, 3 shillings, and 9 pence. The church is dedicated to St. John the Baptist. At a place called Northcote are several stones, probably commemorative of some British hero slain in battle. The parish registers of Eastdown also begin in 1538. The 1851 census of Eastdown shows our ancestor John Tucker, age 46, living at Wood Cottage, a tailor and draper, and born at Highbury.
His wife Susan is age 42, a seamstress, and born at Kentisbury. Their son James and Charlie, age 14 and 9, are listed as tailor with father. Anne, age 6, is going to school. Henry is age 2. John Tucker died August 21st, 1874 at Kentisbury, age 69, and was buried in the parish cemetery in Kentisbury. His wife Susanna died February 26, 1898, at Kentisbury, age 88, and was buried in the Kentisbury cemetery. John Tucker was baptized by proxy in the Logan Temple September 2, 1890, and endowed there September 3, 1890. His wife, Susanna Blackmore, was baptized by proxy in the Salt Lake Temple June 6, 1899, and endowed in the same temple June 7, 1899. They were sealed for time and all eternity by proxy in the Salt Lake Temple June 27, 1900. 2 of their 4 children, James and Henry, were sealed to their parents June 27, 1900 in the Salt Lake Temple. Charlie and Anne were sealed to them November 11, 1914 in the Salt Lake Temple.
John Tucker was the son of James Tucker and Eleanor Radley. James was christened January 23, 1766 at Goodley, and married Eleanor Radley October 29, 1797 in the parish church at Goodley. He was buried September 1, 1846, age 80, in the Goodley Parish Cemetery. His wife Eleanor was christened at Goodley May 24, 1772, and was buried in the Goodley Cemetery May 26, 1843, age 71. The 1841 census of Kennisbury shows James Tucker, age 75, an agricultural laborer, and his wife Eleanor, age 65. James Tucker's baptism in the Logan Temple was September 2, 1890, and endowed in the Salt Lake Temple June 19, 1957. The earliest known endowment for Eleanor Radley was done June 8, 1899, in the Salt Lake Temple under the name of Eleanor Radcliffe, born 1767, and died May 20, 1843. James Tucker is listed as her grandson. Her endowment was repeated February 23, 1921, in the Logan Temple, this time under the name of Mrs. Eleanor Tucker, born in 1774 at Trentishoe. They were sealed for time and eternity as husband and wife June 29, 1900, in the Salt Lake Temple. Some of their children, including our ancestor John Tucker, born in 1805, were sealed to their parents James and Eleanor in the Salt Lake Temple February 24, 1910. The parents of James Tucker, born 1766, were John Tucker, christened April 6, 1737, at Goodley, Devonshire, England, and Mary Mormon. They were married April 26, 1762, in the parish church at Goodley. They were the parents of 3 children, who were all born at Goodley. He died February 15, 1799, age 61. Mary Mormon, his wife, was christened October 24, 1732, in the parish of North Moulton, Devonshire. She was buried April 25, 1772, aged 39, at Goodley. The temple baptism for John Tucker, born 1737, has been done 4 times. The earliest was September 2, 1890, in the Logan Temple. His earliest endowment was February 13, 1913, in the Salt Lake Temple. They were sealed for eternity as a couple in the Salt Lake Temple June 17, 1913. The earliest known endowment date for Mary Mormon is May 21, 1913, in the Salt Lake Temple, and was done under the name of Mrs. Mary Tucker, born in 1730 at Goodley. Their children were sealed to them January 28, 1914, and again March 2, 1959, in the Salt Lake Temple. The birth and death information given in 1914 for their second and third child is so different that it is doubtful if the ordinances are valid. John Tucker, born 1737, was the son of James Tucker and Grace Talon. James was born about 1707, probably at Goodley, and married January 1, 1732, Julian calendar, and 1733 Gregorian calendar, to Grace Talon. His temple work was likewise done in the Salt Lake Temple, being baptized November 26, 1912, and endowed February 13, 1913. The earliest known endowment date for Grace Talon is December 4, 1912, in the Salt Lake Temple, and was done under the name of Grace Pullen, born about 1704 at Goodley. They were sealed as a couple in the Salt Lake Temple March 5, 1913. 3 of their 4 children were sealed to them September 10, 1913, in the Salt Lake Temple. James Tucker, born about 1707, was the son of John Tucker and his wife Mary. We do not know her maiden name, and we estimate his birth as being about 1675. This is the end of our Tucker line, and as far as we have been able to prove the ancestry thus far.
Our common progenitors, John Tucker, born 1805, and Susanna Blackmore, born 1809, are the beginning point of our Tucker family association. They were the proud parents of 4 children. Their first child, James Tucker, was born July 22, 1836, at Eastdown, Devonshire, England. James became a convert to the church and was baptized September 11, 1859. James and Betsy sailed for New York March 30, 1860, on the sailing ship Underwriter. He married Betsy Lurwill at Florence, Douglas County, Nebraska. The date of their marriage is not known, but they got the marriage license May 26, 1860. They arrived in Salt Lake City September 3, 1860, with the James D. Ross Company. He was endowed in the Endowment House December 1, 1860. They were the parents of 12 children and had 86 grandchildren and 241 known great-grandchildren. In his autobiography, James Tucker indicates that he obtained genealogical records for over 9,000 of his relatives. The early temple work was done under the heirship of James Tucker. The heir was defined by the church as the oldest male member of the family to join the church. His wife Betsy Lurwill died at age 70 at Morgan, June 20, 1909, and was buried there June 22. After the death of his first wife, he had a second wife sealed to him February 15, 1911, in the Salt Lake Temple. Her name was Elizabeth Perdue. She was born in 1836 at Cherville, Devonshire, and died about 1890. James Tucker died at age 88 at Morgan, June 19, 1925, and was buried there June 22 in the Morgan City Cemetery.
The second child, named Charlie, was born January 14, 1842, at Eastdown, Devonshire, England. He sailed for America May 23, 1863, on the ship Antarctic, and married Betsy Rawle July 23, 1863, at Florence, Douglas County, Nebraska. They arrived at Salt Lake City September 25, 1863, with Captain Nebeker's ox train. They were sealed for eternity December 3, 1864, in the Endowment House. They had no children. He married second Mary Smith July 29, 1880, in the Endowment House at Salt Lake City. There were no children born to this marriage. He married third Ann Hardman December 12, 1884, in the Logan Temple. They had 7 children, 4 of whom died young. Charlie died age 79 at Milton, Morgan County, Utah, March 23, 1921. His wife Betsy Rawle died age 77 at Morgan, September 26, 1909. His third wife, Ann Hardman, died September 5, 1948, age 82, at Ogden, Weaver County, Utah. Their third child, Anne, was born March 19, 1844, at Eastdown, Devonshire, England. She married Robert Hannay from Scotland, January 18, 1877, at Kennisbury, Devonshire, England. They had 2 children born at Kennisbury. On March 29, 1902, Robert, Anne, and John Hannay sailed on the SS New England for America. Anne died April 18, 1912, age 68, at Salt Lake City, and was buried in the Salt Lake City Cemetery April 21st. Robert died age 91, January 10, 1945, at Salt Lake City, and was buried in the Salt Lake City Cemetery January 12th. The fourth child of John and Susanna was named Henry. He was born June 17, 1848, at Eastdown, Devonshire, and died February 26, 1857, age 8. The total known posterity of our common ancestors, John Tucker and Susanna Blackmore, is as follows: 4 children, 21 grandchildren, 98 great-grandchildren, 259 second great-grandchildren, 228 third great-grandchildren, for a total known posterity of 675. There are 522 known spouses of children, grandchildren, etc., making a total known posterity including spouses of 1,197.
As descendants of these fine and faithful people, let us remember their strong, wonderful qualities and try to live our lives to make them proud of us.